Today, in today's paper, we will be looking at question 2 of 2017, the NSC exam, and we are looking at data handling. And what we have here is an experiment of a group of 23 girls were presented with a page containing 30 colored rectangles. They were asked to name the colors of the rectangles correctly as quickly as possible. So the time in seconds taken by each of the girls is given in the table below. So these are the seconds taken by each girl to identify the colors. So the first instruction here is to calculate the mean of the data, and the mean of the data will be the sum of all the values, which is 472, and we divide that by 23, and that gives us 20,52 seconds. So that is the mean for the set of data. And then they want us to also determine the interquartile range. So for the interquartile range, it is the range between the quartiles. Now let's understand what range means. Range refers to you subtracting the lowest value from the highest value. So when you determine the interquartile range, it is still the lowest value subtracted from the highest value, but it is from the upper quartile and the lower quartile. So we first now need to find quartile 1, and we also need to find quartile 3. And if you arrange your set of data, you'll notice if you have 23, your lower quartile will be your bottom quartile, which is then 16. And then for your upper quartile, that will then be 24. Okay, so for time's sake, I'm not going to write out all the data and then show you where it is. You just need to find your lower quarter and your upper quarter. So now that we have our quartiles, we can now determine the interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1. And Q3 is 24 and Q1 is 16. Therefore, the interquartile range will then be 8. Okay, in the paper, this was for 3 marks. And those 3 marks were allocated to determining quartile 1, quartile 2, and your answer is as well. So let's have a look at 2.2. The standard deviation of the times taken by the girls is 5.94. How many girls took longer than one standard deviation from the mean to name the colors? So we know that our mean is 20,52. We then add the 5,94, and this gives us an approximate value of 26,46. Okay, therefore it is greater than the 26,46. Now let's go back to the girls table. If you look at the girls table, 26 is below 7. Therefore the answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So your final answer here would then be 4 girls. Okay, so let's have a look at 2.3. Here we need to draw a box and whisker diagram to represent the data on the number line provided in the answer book. So in the answer book of the 2017 paper 2 NSC exam, number line provided, and the number line had the following data. So my lowest value here is 12, my highest value is 36. I already know from the previous calculation that my lower quartile Q1 is 16, there is Q1, Q3 is 24, there is Q3, and my median is 20, that is then my Q2. So then I set up my box at 16, 24, and my median value is at 20. I complete my box and I continue to draw this line to my highest value and that to my lowest value, and that was what your box would look like. And this was for 3 marks, and the marks were allocated for the whiskers ending at 12 and 36. And there was also a mark allocated for your median, which is 20, and 16 and 24 correctly placed. That was also a mark. Okay, so let's have a look at 2.4. Now 2.4 gives us data for the boys, and they give us the 5 number summary of the times taken by a group of 23 boys in naming the colors of rectangles correctly. So you'll notice that there's 23 boys and there's 23 girls, so it's an even comparison. The lowest value, the lowest time for the boys to identify the colors was 15 seconds. The highest time was 38 seconds. Their median time was 23.5 seconds. Their lower quartile was 21 seconds, and their quartile 3 was 26 seconds. So you first need to just say that to yourself when you engage with the data. 2.4.1. Which of the two groups, girls or boys, had the lower median time to correctly name the colors of the rectangles? We know by the data given here that the boys' median time was 23.5 seconds. If we look at the girls' median time, if you look at the box on Whisker, you'll see the girls' median time was 20. So the answer to 2.4.1 is then that the girls, they had a lower median time than the boys. Okay, so that's a straightforward one there. That's a 1 mark. And then the next question. The first 3 learners who named the colors of all 30 rectangles correctly in the shortest time will receive a prize. The first 3 learners. How many boys will be among these 3 prize winners? Now, if you look at the girls' lowest time is 12. And the boys' lowest was 15. So if you look at the first 5 people here, no boys will be included in the top 3. Only girls. Because there are 5 girls that have completed the identification of the colors in a shorter period than 15 seconds. Because there's 12 seconds, 13 seconds, 13 seconds, 14 seconds, 14 seconds. Remember, you might now think to yourself, and this is a misconception, that there are 2 13s and 2 14s, so that's one value. Now remember, this is an individual, that's one person. This is also a person. That's also a person. That's a person, that's a person. So they might share second prize, the 2 13s, and the 2 14s might share the third prize. But there's already 5 people in the winning categories. So let's go back to the question. Let's read the question again and try to make sense out of it. The first 3 learners who named the colors of 30 rectangles correctly in the shortest time will receive a prize. How many boys will be among these prize winners? The answer there is no boys, right? So that will be 1 mark because you now need to motivate. Why do we say no boys? Because 5 girls completed. So here it would be no boys because 5 girls completed in less than 15 seconds. So you will get 1 mark for the no answer. Okay. And then you get 1 for your motivation as well. And obviously girls for 2.4.1, that's 1. So this is how your marks will be allocated.